The collection of motorcycle helmets I have on the table today represents some of the best value for money I've personally seen during my time at Urban Rider. There isn't a helmet on this table that exceeds £100, which I find astonishing, especially considering they meet ECE 2206 safety standards. These come from the brand Origine, who are a value for money brand anyway. They have other options which use more premium materials. So one of the key reasons these are so affordable is that they use a polycarbonate outer shell. But even considering that, we have other polycarbonate options in our helmet range that don't come close to the price of these. Now with Origine, they also do things like the Vega, which uses a fiberglass shell. It's very similar to the Omega on the table here, but obviously uses that more premium material, and even that is under £200. So generally, they're a value for money brand. And it does prompt the question, why go for the more expensive options, or is there any point? Are you sacrificing anything here? And like I say, and we'll keep reiterating, these do meet ECE 2206 safety standards. Do you get more when you spend more on helmets? Yes, you do. You get more functionality, more practicality, you get a more refined fit, comfort. If you're going to live with it long term or you're going to use it an awful lot, I would still say there is a case in spending a little bit more on something a bit plusher, and that's what I generally ride around in. But we would be remiss if we didn't cater to all budgets, and obviously this is a really budget-friendly option while still meeting the important safety standards that it needs to. If you are looking for an affordable helmet, or if you want a second helmet, or for a passenger who maybe doesn't ride all that often, you don't want to spend a fortune, these are a great option. Let's start with the most affordable option on this table, and that would be the Spirit in front of me here, which comes in with a starting price of £49 if you want something simple like this matte black version, or they have more extravagant colorways. They have 8 in actual fact, and they all look really good, and those are £59. As with all of the helmets on this table, they make it using a thermoplastic resin shell, and they make it in 2 different shell sizes, changing between small and medium actually, so medium upwards uses the larger shell size. If it looks a little bit on the larger side, that will be because it's actually hiding a drop-down visor as well. So you can cover your eyes with that. If you're doing lower speeds, you also can get goggles that pair really well with this. If you're doing higher speeds and you want to keep your eyes better protected. But that's great if you're riding around town. It is similar to the Bell TX501, for example. We have other options as well that use something like this internal drop-down visor, and it is there to just stop that airflow from getting to your eyes and drying them out as you're riding around, and can be a really useful thing. It is quite subtle. You don't really see that it's there, to be honest with you, and although it does make the shell ever so slightly larger, not a huge amount, so it's still relatively slimline. One of the areas you'll find its competitors have the edge is with the liner. You will find plusher liners, more comfortable liners on other more expensive helmets. Actually, even on their own helmets, higher up in the price range, you'll find they use slightly nicer materials for that liner. But in its defense, it is fully removable, so you can take that out and wash it if you need to. And it uses this faux leather as well around the sides, as well as around your neck there. And then actually, quite clever, reasonably clever, actually better applied, I would say, on the next helmet I'll show you, but it has a rubber surround to the shell itself, but they've put in these kind of stitch lines so that it looks, from a distance at least, like it would be leather or something more premium. They also have a strap on the back there if you want to attach your goggles and keep the strap neat and tidy. And you'll see listed on the back there that it is 1,100 grams, which is relatively light, especially considering the extra mechanics it's got with that drop-down internal visor. Sizing on their helmets we have found to be accurate. What I will say is that to me they felt a little bit rounder because I felt pressure points on my forehead and the back of my head. Not uncomfortable, but I knew that that's where obviously it's closer to my head. I have an intermediate oval shaped head. We have people in the office who have a rounder fit, and they would concur with me on this occasion. So it's slightly on the rounder end, but still accurate and a comfortable fit. What I will say on this one in particular over the other helmets they've got is the liner sort of pads it out a little bit. The actual helmet itself is the same size, but it feels a bit snugger just because there's a little bit more padding to that internal liner, which to be fair will break in over time anyway. Next up we have the PRIMO, which is a little bit of a step up in terms of quality, but obviously very similar because it is an open face helmet. These come in with a starting price of £69, or they're £79 for the more intricate color designs. There are 8 other color options as well, and again, some really nice designs on this one. This one, as I mentioned, also uses a thermoplastic resin shell and is available in 2 different shell sizes, again changing between small and medium. It also comes with an included peak with 3 snaps on the front in this black color, and you can get different visors for it, bubble visors, colored visors, if you want to, as an additional accessory. For me, the small increase in price is mainly down to, one, the included peak, but the liner on the inside, which I think has a nicer feel to it. It is softer, it is more instantly comfortable than the likes of the Spirit. This one has removable cheek pieces if you want to take them out and wash them. And again, we have this rubber edge to the shell itself, which is made to look like leather. It's actually quite convincing, also because they have included stitching. So even close up, this still resembles leather, so it has a more premium look to it. But actually, I think I prefer that to leather in some instances because it's going to be a little bit more durable, although arguably if you have leather, it gets a patina, it's quite nice when you put it down. So there is an argument to be said for that. But with something like this, if you're just knocking it around, I think this is going to age quite well, actually, because it's not going to scuff that easy. And as with the Spirit, this has a ratchet strap closure around your neckline. The PRIMO has a listed weight of 1,210 grams, and I think that's where you can start to see that fiberglass options might be a little bit lighter, but still, it is a lightweight helmet. It's open face, and they do tend to be. The fit is exactly the same as the Spirit. It is on the rounder side, but it is an accurate size, and it is a comfortable helmet on. There's a little bit more room in there because, like I say, the liner isn't quite as thick as on the Spirit, but either way, on both helmets, it's going to break in well. Lastly then, we have the Omega, which is similar to another one of their helmets, the Vega, but like I say, that one has a fiberglass shell. This one has a starting price of £89 for the more simple colour options. Actually, there's only 3 colour options so far on these ones, and the multicoloured options are £99, which is very good value for money. As I've mentioned with the previous helmets, this is a thermoplastic resin shell. It is available in 2 different shell sizes, again changing between small and medium. Truth be told, it's a very simple helmet. You can immediately get the impression of that as you look around it. So on the inside, you have a removable liner, very similar to the liner actually that you'll find on the PRIMO. It is really soft, really plush actually. So you can remove that if you need to. When it comes to the sizing on this one, it is the same as the other helmets that I've shown you in terms of the shape of it, and definitely the sizing as well. You have a double D-ring closure around your neckline. You have got vents actually on your chin, non-closable, but they will allow airflow through there. It's quite open on the bottom there. And you've also got vents on your forehead, and you'll notice what look like exit vents around the bottom there. Now, I have taken out the liner. You can see there is a basic channel across there, but that is the sort of thing that if it's important to you on hot days to get great airflow, then you will need to spend more money and get something a little bit more premium than this. But you still get some airflow with this one. And like I say, it's a really simple helmet, so you sort of expect that. Anything extra that you would get, I would consider a bonus on this occasion. Now with the visor, you will notice it is really simple to open. Obviously, it has this little tab on the left side, and similar to the likes of Bell or the original Bell bullets, you have this, which you can use either a screwdriver or a coin if you need to loosen that off and change visors if you do require. The visor isn't pin lock ready, but then I would expect that at this price point. Obviously, you can open it a crack if you need to get some airflow through there. Like I say, it does have at least some vents on the front, or there are anti-fog sprays that you can get that sometimes help, or the likes of Visio Dry to keep the front clear from rain as well. It is also slightly on the heavier end of the spectrum, but nothing too extreme. This medium on the table is 1,450 grams. And those should be most of the details covered, but if you have any questions or comments, drop them in the comment section down below. If you want a budget-friendly motorcycle helmet, Origine are a great company to look at, and I'll drop links in the description if you want to see them for yourself.